Hello, it's Culture Time on France 24, today on Encore. Through the airwaves, they gave supporters of the resistance in every corner of wartime France hope. We remember Radio Londres. Climb giant ladders to meet angels, go to weird labs in the clouds and visit the empty museum. Enter the Kabakov strange city at Paris's Grand Palais. And she's been living on a prayer. A singing nun clinches the final of the Voice of Italy talent show contest. Thanks for joining us. And as we mark 70 years since the D-Day landings and the beginning of the end of World War II, here on Encore we're remembering the men and women who fought the war of the airwaves against Nazism and collaboration. BBC Radio Londres was broadcast from a little studio in the heart of Allied territory. It was heard by the supporters of the resistance in every corner of wartime France. Claire Williams takes a look back at the BBC's French service that gave its listeners a message of solidarity and hope.
Ici Londres, les Français parlent au français.
Frank Boer is the last surviving member of the BBC's Second World War French service.
This is London. Then you had to stop. Then, les Français parlent au français. It always had to be said like that.
The French speaking to the French. BBC Radio Londres or Radio London broadcast from 1940 to 1944 to Nazi-occupied France. It served to counter propaganda, like that broadcast by the German-controlled Radio Paris.
Radio Paris, Radio Paris, Radio Paris est allemand, ce sont ceux du maquis, combattant pour la France.
It also called on the French to rise up and was used to send so-called personal messages, often coded for the French resistance.
The BBC radio played a crucial role because at first it's held up hope amongst the French. And then it started helping the French resistance with its tactics and operations.
The Free French forces in London, who'd escaped the German occupation, were behind the broadcasts. They received thousands of letters from listeners.
It was a window, an escape. The BBC was like a sister, someone to confide in. Those who wrote to the BBC felt they could at last express themselves freely about what was troubling them.
C'est la bataille de France et c'est la bataille de la France.
On June 6, 1944, General Charles de Gaulle announced the D-Day landings from here, Bush House, the BBC's international headquarters in London. Listeners in Normandy were encouraged to disrupt Nazi communications and help Allied forces who'd landed.
Wow, pretty incredible stuff. Now to something else pretty incredible. Every year, Paris's glorious Grand Palais hosts an artist for the annual Monumenta exhibition. After Richard Serra and Anish Kapoor, for the sixth one, Russia's most celebrated international artists, Ilya and Emilia Kabakov, have taken over the space. They invite viewers to lose themselves in an imaginary town. Nicola Hebden has entered their strange city.
Under the nave of Paris's prestigious Grand Palais, something strange is happening. Veteran Russian artists Ilya and Emilia Kabakov have created their most ambitious installment yet, The Strange City.
We put content, very emotional, very philosophical, very complicated in each building. It's a condensation of everything we work on all these years, and we hope that every viewer will understand on his own level of sophistication or cultural background or intellectual background, and will be able to enjoy and to think, just be here.
In 1,500 meters squared, the pair have created an imaginary town to get lost in. 5 shrine-like enclosures offer lessons on life, death, utopia and culture, issues recurrent in the Kabakovs' works. The aim is to make the visitors take a moment from their daily grind. And the Kabakovs' message is clear. humankind needs higher meaning.
Each of these installations describes or is a metaphor for the ways in which humanity regards its relationship with what is beyond the physical, beyond the everyday.
For this monumental exhibition, the Kabakovs had monumental footsteps to walk in. In 2011, Anish Kapoor brought a sea of red to the museum in Leviathan. And Daniel Burin also played with colour and shape in his 2012 In Situ. After a 25-year career in art, the couple still felt the pressure.
The challenge was enormous, space-wise, light, very complicated, and architecture, and of course all the previous artists. There was a lot of artists before us. Everybody was fantastic. All the Monumenta was very good. So, do we want to be the biggest? No. Do we want to be the best? Every artist would want to be the best.
Ilya and Emilia have made their biggest utopia yet, and it can be seen as a weird kind of journey through their previous creations.
And the 6th edition of Monumenta is on at the Grand Palais in Paris until the 22nd of June. Now let's head to South America and a type of music called digital cumbia. With its uncompromising lyrics of poverty, drugs and crime, it's the music of Argentina's slums. Now, a club-friendly version marrying folk with electronic beats is taking Buenos Aires night spots by storm. Let's find out some more.
It's the new music craze coming out of Argentina, digital cumbia. With its swirling rhythms and mix of traditional cumbia with electronic beats, this new sound emerged from clandestine parties organised by Zizek, a collective of underground DJs like Villa Diamante.
Before the 2001 crisis, we were happy to copy what came from abroad. But after the crisis, we started turning towards our own music, like cumbia or folk music. And the Zizek label is born of this desire to create something that's truly Argentinian.
Native to Colombia, cumbia since the 2000s has become the music of Argentina's slums, cumbia villera. With its uncompromising lyrics, cumbia villera riffs on themes like poverty, drugs and crime. According to El Negro, member of the cumbia villera group Fantasma, the ruling class is rejected as an apology for violence.
Actually, they don't want to hear what is really happening in any of Buenos Aires or Argentina's poor neighborhoods. It disturbs them.
Today, artists like El Remelon want to restore cumbia's reputation. He mixes famous cumbia villera songs into digital cumbia. Another specialty of digital cumbia, the mashup.
We stretch out the instrumental parts, then we take a small sample that we repeat the whole way through. We add percussions and bass. It's like a remix, but we superimpose two different tracks. That's what a mashup is.
From hip-hop to tango, folklore to pop, nothing is off limits to these digital bootleggers. 21st century cumbia is only just beginning. Few artists make a living out of it. Most work during the day, pursuing their passions by night, moving the dance floor with their new sound.
Well, from the nightclubs to a convent. We talked about her a few months ago here on Encore, the singing nun who was taking part in the Voice of Italy television talent show contest. Well, she's won. She gained millions of followers with her lively dance act and soulful renditions of lusty pop classics. Wearing her black habit and crucifix, Sister Christina thanked God for her victory, reciting an Our Father to the puzzlement of organisers and the audience.
I will go back to my priorities: prayer, waking up early in the morning, and school service. That's fundamental for me to be able to begin something new later on. However, like I said yesterday, I'm leaving the future in the hands of God.
There you go. That brings us to the end of the show. But just before we go, if you're in Paris and fancy a look around the President's backyard, the Élysée Gardens are open the first Sunday of every month from now on. If you can't get to Paris, this is what you're missing. Remember, you can get more on our website at france24.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time.